Hello and welcome to another edition of Motorcars Speed Shop. We're back here in the workshop again. Got a bunch of garbage done. Go through some of the stuff. The Red Cat's obviously been taken apart. That's no longer needed. Well, that sounded expensive. Chassis gone, so that's no longer needed as well. Whoops, that really sounded expensive. Back to the Axial. This is the dumbest one. Or not the dumbest one, but yeah. It ended up being something super simple. It actually was a battery. Threw a new motor at it, but we got some more odds and ends stuff. We're going to just lock up on this thing, but otherwise it's fixed. So what do you do? But the chassis is done. So this new pig is already put together, or at least the chassis is. Now I'm going to try to finalize a lot of stuff. And it's not going to be incredibly difficult. I've been playing with some of the 4-link bars, trying to make sure we got clearances for everything. This thing obviously with no transmission in the middle because the engine and the servos are actually mounted right to the axles. This is more of a hobby style vehicle. So this makes it really, really easy as far as doing this, but there is a lot of stuff to get around. So when you're underneath these things, boy, it's really tricky to get some of the stuff to clear once you're underneath this thing. So still need to find a place to put the electronics. This thing's got a weird little deal where it's got a magnetically at least closed hood. It's got a big metal panel inside, so maybe that's where we might put the electronics. We'll have to see on that front. This is for the folks over at Jura. It's not a 4-link right now. It's kind of a 3-link because we're using the stock one in the center just because I can't get the 4-link bars right as far as their lengthwise is concerned, to try to keep the axle from being twisted a little bit, because you don't want it up or down, because then your steering gets kind of out of whack and everything. And we've had to really float around as far as the 4-link bars are concerned. As you can see underneath here, had to run some different Heim joints on it to try to gain clearance for it. So I can't remember what these things are off of, but there they are. Still got to mount the electronics. And then now it's getting time for the fun stuff. Once we do the rear axle and everything like that, everything goes in. Then it's going to be deciding, okay, what are we going to run as far as a shock and spring package for this thing? I think I'm going to try to keep it a little bit low. At least that's my early thoughts, because I think it just might look cool. The thing looks like it's going to articulate well. The chassis may come in contact in a couple ways, so might have to do some trimming, especially back here, because once this axle's here, the servo is going to kind of impact the rear part of the chassis. So I don't know if it's going to have to stick out further. I'm not 100% sure. Haven't really mocked up some of the rear 4-link bars as of yet. So at least the project is moving along. The chassis is actually done. And hopefully in the next week or so, we're going to get this thing buttoned up and then get to show it off. And I think it's going to be a fun little car that at least is easy. Something you don't have to throw a lot of parts at or a lot of maintenance at, hopefully. That's what the plan is. Just have something you can go out there and roll around with and have a good time with. So we'll have to wait and see on that front. And that's pretty much all we got for the old Speed Shop. Gonna have to clean up this mess because it is a disaster in here. But yeah, we'll keep on hammering and we'll hopefully have something to show to you very soon. Thanks for watching.